It was just another chilly September morning at Evergreen High, a school nestled between the dense woods of the small town of Maplewood. The air smelled of damp leaves, and a thin mist floated through the courtyard as Jessica, a new student, walked through the entrance. She had moved to Maplewood just a week prior, and everything felt foreign: the faces, the voices, even the creaking of the old school building. As she wandered through the crowded halls, Jessica overheard snippets of conversation. Whispers about the school's dark past lingered in the air like the fog outside. "Have you seen her?" one student said. "They say she roams the halls at night." Another replied, "Yeah, the ghost of Mr. Thompson's old classroom. Don't go there alone." Jessica brushed the rumors aside, focusing instead on finding her first period class. However, a sense of unease followed her throughout the day, culminating in a foreboding feeling that something was not quite right. Days turned into weeks, and Jessica quickly realized that something was indeed wrong at Evergreen High. Strange occurrences plagued her: textbooks falling off desks, pencils rolling away mysteriously, and chilling drafts that swept through the hallways despite the absence of windows. One late afternoon, as she lingered in the library, she noticed the time slipping away. She decided to head back to her locker before going home. The corridors were eerily quiet, classes had emptied, and only the flickering lights accompanied her steps. As she walked past Mr. Thompson's classroom, she felt a sudden chill run down her spine. The door creaked open slightly, as if inviting her inside. Curiosity overcame her fear, and she stepped in. The room looked unchanged: old desks in neat rows, a chalkboard still covered with faint sketches from years past. But then she saw it: a figure standing by the window. The silhouette was faint, almost translucent, shimmering like a mirage. Jessica's breath caught in her throat. The figure turned slowly, revealing a pair of hollow eyes that seemed to peer into her soul. "Help me," the figure whispered, voice echoing like a distant sigh. Panicked, Jessica stumbled back, knocking over a chair. The figure vanished instantly, leaving behind a cold gust of wind. She ran out of the classroom, her heart racing. That night, unable to shake the encounter, Jessica decided to dig deeper into the school's history. In the town library, she discovered the story of Emily, a student who had vanished decades ago. She had been known as a bright and talented girl, well loved by her peers. One fateful night, she had been locked in the school by a cruel prank. No one discovered her in time, and she met a tragic end, fading away like a ghost in the empty hallways. As Jessica pieced together the story, she realized where Emily might be trapped: right in Mr. Thompson's classroom. Her heart raced as she contemplated the ghost's plea for help. Determined to uncover the truth, Jessica gathered a group of friends: Liam, Sarah, and David. Together, they planned to return to Evergreen High after hours. Armed with flashlights and a sense of adventure mixed with dread, they broke into the school on a moonlit Friday night. The echoes of their footsteps bounced off the walls as they made their way to Mr. Thompson's classroom. The air inside felt thicker, as if charged with electricity. When they stepped inside, the temperature dropped. They could see their breath in the air. "Emily, are you here?" Jessica called out, her voice trembling. For a moment, silence enveloped them, followed by the soft sound of whispering. The temperature continued to plummet, and the shadows in the room danced ominously. Suddenly, the chalkboard began to write itself. "Help me," it scrawled in jagged letters. Jessica gasped, feeling the weight of the room shift as a figure materialized before them. This time, Emily looked clearer, her face sorrowful yet hopeful. "You must help me find my way home," she pleaded. Understanding the urgency in Emily's voice, Jessica and her friends decided they needed to release her spirit. They remembered the old town legend mentioned in the library. The only way to free Emily was to find her locket, lost somewhere in the school. They scattered throughout the building, searching every nook and cranny. After what felt like hours, Sarah stumbled upon the old janitor's closet, a place untouched by time. Among the dusty brooms and neglected cleaning supplies, she discovered an ornate locket buried beneath cobwebs. Racing back, Sarah handed the locket to Jessica, who approached Emily's ghost. "Is this yours?" she asked, hope pulsating in her voice. Emily's eyes brightened. "Yes, I can finally go home." As Jessica placed the locket in Emily's hands, the room filled with a warm glow, dispelling the cold. In a swell of energy, Emily smiled, serene and grateful. "Thank you," she whispered, and with that, she began to fade. A gentle wind rushed through the classroom, and the overwhelming heaviness lifted. As dawn broke over Evergreen High, Jessica and her friends stood outside the school, bathed in the soft morning light. The air felt lighter, and the whispers that once haunted the hallways had transformed into a gentle breeze. From that day forward, the school was different. Jessica had made friends, and the lingering shadows seemed to have retreated. While tales of Emily lived on, they were now stories of hope rather than fear. Jessica had not only freed a lost soul, but had found her place in a new school, a new beginning that would always carry the memory of a ghost who simply wanted to be remembered. And in doing so, she unearthed her own strength, proving that even the darkest of places can find light through compassion and courage.